Hey everybody, Liam McGuire here, coming at you from my home in Osgood, Ontario, Canada, not too far from Winchester. Wendy asked me to do this and say a couple words about my dear friend Robbie Carkner, and geez, can you believe it's already almost 18 months. I mean 16, 17, 18 months almost since he passed, and it's crazy how fast time goes, but even crazier when you think back to when him and I met all those years ago in the Sunday Night League in Manotick. We ended up playing on the same hockey team. I didn't know who he was. I mean, I knew it was a Carkner had come into the league, but at the time I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was Terry's brother. I didn't know he was Bob and Marion's son, especially Bob. And we just hit it off right away, though. We hit it off right away because I think very quickly in conversations, usually post-game, over a few pops. In those days, at most arenas, certainly anything rural, you could stay in the room and have a few beers. You weren't chased out. And if need be, the next team was coming in. You just went in the lobby. And you'd finish with a few more there before you headed home. And so we had countless conversations about hockey. And, of course, Terry was drafted in '84 and started making his own career in the NHL. And Robbie was so proud of that. And I'll touch on that more in a second. And I did write about this, so if you have already seen it, what I wrote about that time, that fantastic time in 1995. But, look, I just want to offer heartfelt condolences through this video to Wendy and the family, all the Carkners and all the friends, relatives, anybody who grew up with him. We weren't classmates, Robbie and I. We weren't elementary school or high school friends. We were purely adult hockey rec friends, but we just really hit it off. And later, I started being asked to MC some of the Inkerman Rocket alumni events. And additionally, the night that they had the night for Terry, his brother, in Winchester, I was asked to co-MC that. Jungle Jim Jerome actually was there as well. And so front and center always was Rob and certainly Bob and Marion. And the fact that Bob had a relationship going way back in the years with Jerry Fleury Sr., and now you're bringing in the Morrisburg Combines, now you're bringing in Jack Crawford and the Duncans, and then go back to Inkerman and all the rest. I mean, it's just the whole Carkner name drips hockey, and I love history. I mean, it was a great combo. And Rob was, he was one of the better goaltenders in our league. He was competitive. He was tough. He was athletic. He loved a good time. He loved a cold beer. He loved to talk hockey. He was no shrinking violet in the room or on the ice or outside, if you know what I mean. And we just really hit it off because I think I'm all those things too. And we just were kindred spirits, and I miss him. I miss him like a brother. One of those times where life goes on and you don't get a chance to stay in touch as much as you'd like to, but anytime there was occasion to communicate, later when email or social media came along and there was occasion to exchange the odd note, or then if I did cross paths with them somewhere, was like for all of you, anytime you see a friend from days gone by, isn't it amazing? It's like the relationship never ended and you'd just seen them the weekend before. But if there was a highlight, there's no doubt about it, it was 1995, the year of the first significant lockout in the NHL. Terry was a member of the Detroit Red Wings. He was home for an extended period of time. We had an annual Christmas tournament in Manotick where we were allowed to pick up 2 players. This was essentially to bolster every team, and there was usually at least one player that was missing, but it really was just to bolster every team and make the tournament as high quality as you possibly could. For a town league tournament, they were just trying to enhance it. And Robbie came to our group at the time, largely led by Terry Murphy, who was running the league, and and others, and said, my brother Terry wants to come play with us. I've never had a chance to play with him. and he ran it by the league executive. I mean, this is a guy currently in the NHL. It wasn't like you're asking somebody who played senior AA in the 70s to come and join your team. I mean, it was amazing. And anyway, of course, the league okayed it. And I'll never forget it. When Terry walked in the dressing room that first time, he had the Detroit Red Wing equipment bag, and it was incredible. And forget the Hamilton that was his defense partner. His last name was Hamilton. It wasn't Ian, I don't think. Anyway, came off the ice that first shift in the first game, and Terry gave him a swat in the butt there with a stick, saying, good shift, good shift. I thought the kid was going to collapse right on the spot. Just the excitement of a NHL player telling him he had played a good shift out there. It truly was amazing. And even more so was to watch after the games. We won, I think, all 3 of our round robin games. We won the quarterfinal game. We ended up losing in the semifinals, and with Terry giving maybe 20%. I mean, we were imploring him on the bench a couple times to do something NHL-ish. Go out there and take this game over, even though it wasn't the type of player he was, but he certainly could have done it at that level anyway. He didn't, and he played it cool. But all the way along, when the games ended, the last guys to, you go back and congratulate the goaltender, and the last guy every time was Terry. Every time congratulating his brother. I took note of it. I know I wasn't the only one. There were people in the stands. I'm 99% certain Bob and Marion were at a couple of those games. And I don't think Brent was in town, I don't believe, but, I can't remember. Wendy, I'm sure you were there. It was, at some of them anyway, this was really, really, really special stuff. But you could see, he was always proud of his brother, but there he was, winning games where he had to play a role with his NHL brother on the ice, then congratulating him, saying, great game, Robbie. It was out of Hollywood. You couldn't make that up. You couldn't script it. And it was really, really special. So I don't want to monopolize too much time with any of this, but I miss him dearly, and tragic what happened, but a celebration of life that'll be held, and I'll be there, and we'll never forget him, and God willing, he's in a better place. And I'm going to do a little toast to him. I'm going to do it with this very nice whiskey called Heart Iron Whiskey. It's from Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. It's very special whiskey. That's home of the Blue Notes, and my neighbor brought me this back. I love the name of it, Heart Iron, because Robbie had the heart, and he was built iron tough, like all Carkners. And I think to remember his memory and his spirit, his love of all things hockey back in the day, man. It was and friends, because he had a lot of them in the Sunday Night League and the Tick, among other arenas in the rurals in the valley. So here's to you, buddy, and we'll keep your memory and your spirit alive. Cheers to you, Robbie. G'day.